This is a match at the Nogi Black Belt Adult Absolute Division. I'm the older grappler, I'm less explosive, less fast, so I always try to lure my opponent in. He snags my neck, and you will see I pull turtle right away. He jumps on my back and I get my right arm in right away. This actually counts as a guard. Now, since my opponent now arrives in the crucifix, I have to watch out, of course, this was not the goal. But if I now manage to survive and get on top in the scramble, then I actually should score 2 points. Now you see my opponent controls my arm, so both of my arms, which means I cannot rotate, and my neck, the choke, he tries to get to, so he forces my rotation in that direction. Now as long as I keep my head in that angle, he cannot really force the choke. My goal right now is to try to get my arms together, so to defend armbar and choke at the same time, and this allows me to come on top. It's actually basically a double leg. Now my opponent does a very good job of keeping me, of denying me the opportunity to come on top. What I try to do here, you're gonna see me later. See, okay, now he's trying to separate my arms. So now he separated them. I have to watch out for an armbar on my right arm and a kimura on my left arm, or he can transit to the choke. Now, you will see me stay in the middle. As long as I stay in the middle, my opponent cannot really finish me. It's only when I pick the side myself that I'm in danger. So I know I'm on, actually, okay, I'm in a bit of a danger. See, I bridge. This is me trying to get over. I could jump if he allows me to, if he lays flat on his back. At the same time, me bridging denies the choke and makes it very hard for him to attack my arm. See, there he tried, but he failed. So if I could jump over and establish control, I got 2 points. So now here my opponent starts to attack a wrist lock. This actually was not a goal, because this actually hurt my wrist a bit, but I would be damned if I tap for a wrist lock. And allow me the opportunity to snag free and actually get my shoulder out. See, now I'm on top. All I gotta do is make a 180 rotation, as you see me do now. Establish control, 1, 2, 3 seconds, and I will score my 2 points. The only downside of the strategy is it takes a very good referee to recognize the initial guard, actually, when you have the arm inside the leg, and to give it 2 points. Now here, you would think I'm in danger for getting triangled, and I have a very good triangle defense. And this works both ways. One, my opponent knows it, and so many opponents don't really go for a triangle anymore. On the other hand, if he would go for a triangle here, I could stack right away and I would actually be leading just with a little bit of a risk. Now, you see me keeping my right armpit very close to the like trapping the left leg of my opponent, which actually denies the triangle and makes him work harder for it. So as I keep his hip up and I keep close, I have distance control. With my right hand, I stay inside, see? To scoop exactly, she tried to go for the over-under all the time. Now, I went back there so my opponent would not flip me over. And here I'm only threatening the pass, controlling both of his legs. As long as I control my opponent's both legs, he cannot really come on top. And should he come on top, I can right away wrestle back to top and actually die in full control. It is a good thing, so now I've got access to back control, but I wasn't able to keep it. So you see me, every time my opponent gets a little bit of an offensive cycle, I can reset back to the over-under. Here did a good job of pushing my head to the inside. And then I used actually one of my moves I used in my DVD, my instructional offensive defense, being offensive with someone on my back, on your back. So, okay. Now here I think I should score 3 points, my opponent doesn't give it. And I'm rather, I try not to rush it here. I keep my head on my hip, on my opponent's hip, to keep him flattened out. The right foot, my opponent's left foot coming in. Of course, establish back a guard. I cannot get the pass. As long as I keep him stacked, see, in the north-south and come back, it's very uncomfortable for him. Now we have to reset. He got an advantage, but I still managed to reset again to the over/under. Every time I get the opportunity, I dive to the over/under because it really denies much of the offense, and every offense he gets, I actually know I can defend that. So here, what I'm trying to do is keep my my head far over my opponent's far hip, and my opponent does a good job of always stuffing my head back in. So this is a bit dangerous if you push my head away, because that actually, there he managed, see, but I bounce right back away. It actually threatened my back. So all the time I'm keeping my left hip close, and with my right hand, I fight to keep the leg extended. See here? And back into the over-under. The constant pressure makes it very hard for an opponent to move. It makes him tired. And although he's much more explosive as me, because he's younger and heavier also, I deny him the opportunity to use explosivity. That's actually a pretty cool pass, if I say so myself. And this pretty much only works because my opponent is tired. So once I get past, I now have the body lock, and my first goal now is to secure it there and get my 3 points for the pass. Now I'm waiting for my opponent to bridge in so I can mount. So let's see what happens. My opponent starts to go lower, and now actually so it takes quite a while, and if I wait too long I will get stalling, so I do an attempt too soon and I get trapped in the half guard. But I don't really mind, since I have good enough points enough. I still have a body lock, and in half guard I can probably pass again and I get another 3 points. Meanwhile the clock works in my favor. So I'm using my head now to keep my opponent's as an underhook, so keeping my opponent's elbow away. All the time I'm also switching my hip towards the camera, so my opponent's bottom leg cannot get out to establish a full guard. Now the hook inside gets a bit dangerous, but I can use it to transition again to a double leg. My head on the hip prevents my opponent from getting fully up, control the neck, and I pass again to the north-south. It's actually going to be part of my next instructional coming up. I filmed 7 hours, it will release soon. So again I travel north-south, and the easiest way to pass people with a good guard is always north-south. It's very tiring for their abs, they tend to push, and that's when I get the gap. My opponent does a good job initially to keep his knees inside, but me staying north-south makes it very tiring, and little by little I can secure the pass again. Now at this point I could just ride the clock, but I really want to have the finish. So then I go for the mount again. My opponent does a good job to snag my leg again. I don't control the opponent's top knee, so now he's able to keep me at bay. And again, look, at this point I could walk way slower, but I'm actually rushing things a bit in order to get a submission, which fails, and there is all part of my sweep defense, put my head on the floor and jump over. All in all, was a great fight, I think. A bit a pity I couldn't finish it, but I really think it is a good showcasing of my defensive skills, and it shows you how as an older grappler you can use defense in your favor and use gambits to turn the tide.